Okay, it's 14:15. It means I'm expected to start my presentation. And my presentation is about Odoo. I've sat down with the organization of this event and I showed them Odoo, and they said, just show them Odoo and give a demo of Odoo, and then they will understand what open source can mean for a fantastic development. Well, I thought about it and I said, well, I can show you Odoo because that's my job. I only, as a salesman, I'm showing Odoo to our customers. But I thought I'm also going to give you a lot of background on why is Odoo the success as it is today. Who has heard about Odoo? You did? Yeah. That's a good point. I will explain you the product later on. Odoo is an all-in-one business suite. It's completely open source, but with a closed, let's say, border. And I will explain you what that means. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a demo of Odoo, but in the meantime I will tell you far more about the organization, the company, and the whole open source world. First of all, myself. My name is Bart Stelder. I am at this moment one of the managing partners of Dynaps, and we implement the Odoo software. In my past, I was slightly connected to the IT world. I'm an official COBOL programmer. So I'm one of these dinosaurs that can still work with COBOL. Also RPG, also basic, it was called in the time, and some other ancient development tools. And when I look today at Python, for example, I say, well, I would love to be 40 years younger, and then I also became a programmer. After my IT, I went I went into the commercial world, and that's basically what I did in the last 25 years. I was commercially active, and since the last 15 years, I own my own companies. I have various companies. One of them is Dynaps, and I will explain you a little bit about Dynaps later on. What I'm going to do is, I tell you a little bit about myself again, but then in the Dynaps environment. Then I'm going to immediately move to Odoo, all in one. And I will give you a demo, and that demo is about setting up a company in less than 5 minutes, with everything you can imagine. So I'm going to show you that. And also I want to tell a little bit about the business model behind it. And I was just listening to the presentation next door, and there are a few things that we have experienced that maybe you can learn about it as well. And at the end I will tell you why Odoo is the success that it is today. So Dynaps is my company, and what we do everything around Odoo. So we make analysis, we do the implementation, we do migrations, development, we build connectors, we give trainings, and we do also hosting, which turned out to be a very important factor of the whole Odoo environment. Odoo has hundreds, thousands of partners in the world. Dynaps is the #1 partner in the world. We are the biggest in the world. We have more than 7,000 users in the Netherlands and Belgium. More than 370 implementations, and a revenue around 11 million, 10.5 million euro, with more than 135, I think in the meantime 140 employees. And again, what we do is we do everything around that Odoo part, which I'm going to explain later on. Odoo is an open source all-in-one package, and that means that virtually anything you do in your company, you can do with Odoo. If you talk about bookkeeping, if you talk about CRM, if you talk about MRP, WMS, about HR, about websites, web shops, e-commerce, everything is inside Odoo. So it's a huge package. And that also means that the implementation part is quite challenging. I give you a small video about
what does it take to disrupt an industry? What does it take to disrupt the software industry? An industry growing and evolving so quickly. Is it time? Is it money? Is it innovation? Is it a great product? Does it take blunt recklessness or careful consideration? What about having vision, passion, and dedication? What about breaking the rules? It takes all of that. But above all, it takes a vibrant community. A community of dedicated and creative people. A community that parallels ingenuity and efficiency. From manufacturing industries to service industries. From field services to accounting firms. From retail to e-commerce. From NGOs to education. From small companies to large corporations. Together, we move mountains. This is what makes Odoo unique. A passionate community. Millions of open source developers, partners, and users working together towards a common goal. Making companies a better place, one app at a time. This is how we improve everyone's work life. This is how we give people the tools to do more in less time. This is how, as a community, we disrupt industries. So it's no surprise that we all gather year after year to discuss our future. Thank you for joining us.
So the most important sandwich of the most important line of this whole presentation was basically that Odoo is a community. It's a piece of software built by millions of people, and literally millions of people are busy at this moment with Odoo. It are the millions of customers that we have that all contribute to the enhancement of Odoo, but also the hundred thousands of developers worldwide that work on this package. And the interesting part was, I asked you, who has heard about Odoo? There was only one guy that knew Odoo. That's because they don't do anything on marketing. They only invest in the technique, they only invest in the quality of the work. They don't believe in marketing. If you talk to Fabian Pinkers, one of the founders and one of the owners of Odoo, he says, the product, when it's good, it will sell himself. It's a little bit to my knee, because I'm a salesman. I know nothing sells itself. But I must say, when I first time looked at Odoo, it indeed does. And that's only possible because of that vibrant, big community that's working on the software. Odoo is an all-in-one package. That means it's fully integrated. So all the data is in one database. If you talk about CRM or products or whatever, you put on a single point, you add the data in the database, and you can use it in every single module or app that Odoo is built on. So if you make a product, you can use the products in the offers, in the direct sales orders, but you can also use them in your websites, in your web shops, in your cash, point of sale systems, etc. It has a fantastic user interface, and that's where Odoo is I think the strongest point of Odoo is that beautiful interface that Odoo has built around the software. And that software, that user interface is in every single app or module exactly the same. That also means that it is a very high user acceptation. And I have worked with lots of packages. I mean, SAP, Oracle, just name them. But when I looked at this package and we saw the user interface, we said, well, it is possible to have fun with an ERP system. Only because of the user interface only. It's a very modern package. It's open source. It's cloud-based. And above all, it's almost fully integrated with AI. And I will show you also on the demo a little bit what it means for a package like an ERP system. It's multi-language, multi-device, multi-company, multi-currency. It supports virtually any language in the world. It supports all the currencies in the world. And that's only possible because that big open source community. We have in every country, we have localization teams that work on the localization of this software. And last and not least important, it has a fantastic reporting possibilities. So BI, Power BI or whatever you want to use, is not really necessary because that is already inside the software. I spoke to Fabian Pinkers, who is the founder of that company. I said, Fabian, how did you know that you were becoming successful? And he said, there's one thing that you should remember. If you want to succeed, you need to fix a big problem. And then I said, yeah, but what's a big problem around ERP? And he said, it's not the ERP, it's the all-in-one. This is the problem most companies are facing. And if you look at it, you probably will see it. Discuss, most IT-based like companies use Slack, Knowledge in Notion, Sign, DocuSign, Salesforce, Lightspeed for the point of sale and for the e-commerce, accounting, QuickBooks, Exact, whatever have you, Project in Asana, Harvard. Most companies have more than 15, 16 packages that are working together to get all the functionality done. And the big problem is there that you have all these diverse packages with all the different user interfaces, and that is taking a lot of effort and is taking away the focus on the business, basically. So what would it be nice if we can solve that problem? And that was basically the beginning of Odoo, when Fabien, with his 20, 30 people, sat down and said, "Okay, what can we do to prevent and come up with a new solution?" You probably will remember that, you probably will recognize that if you look at your own company. A little bit about the technique behind Odoo. I'm not a technical guy, like I said, but it's fully, the basic platform or the basic language is Python. JavaScript is based on a Postgres SQL database, and we use the QWeb reporting. All open source elements that are used to build the company. Interesting about Odoo is that we have a full open source free to use version, which is called the open source community version. Next to that, there's also an enterprise version. And when I talk about the business models later on, I will explain you why, at the end, the community of the whole environment has chosen for an enterprise version with a license model. Because open source does not have to be for free. Open source has a certain value, and companies can pay for that and therefore get a better service. If you look at at this moment, about 50% of the standard software inside the enterprise version is still open source. If you look at the community version, it's completely open source, but it lacks left and right some functionality, which can be used by using open source modules that are available. So either you choose for the open source community version or the open source enterprise version, you can get the full stack of functionality. But in the open source enterprise version, it's nicely packaged. In the open source community version, you have to look into your community to find the missing functionality. So we have the community, the open source behind it, and we have the Odoo SA. It's a company that is making a lot of, developing a lot of functionality. On top of that, we have all these third-party apps, and there you find the millions of users and millions of 100,000 of developers that are building all kinds of apps that are specially made for special environments. Like I said, Odoo is not just a company, but this is important for Odoo. At this moment, there are worldwide 5,128 registered partners. And that means that our partners that have well-trained people on Odoo, they have their own developers, and they can support Odoo in the countries. We are working in 117 countries worldwide, and we have more than 100,000 FTEs actively working on daily basis with Odoo, either on the development or on the sales and marketing and support. There are more than 93,700 apps, and therefore you can think about, okay, there's a company that uses Odoo but has, for example, a cardiac system and needs a connector for that. That's what we call an app. So we add it to the software and we make it available for the rest of the community. At this moment, there are more than 150,000 databases active, and we have more than 10.8 million users active with Odoo. So still, it's a little bit strange that we don't know about Odoo, but I think in the next years you will absolutely hear about that company, like we have learned also from SAP. Good. I will give you now a short demo on how you can set up an Odoo company in less than 5 minutes. So if you want, you can time it. If I don't make typo mistakes, it will be less, but I will show you that. I'm going to take my seat. You can see it? Yeah. For that, you can try it yourself as well. You can go to Odoo, to the Odoo website, odoo.com, and you type in pricing, and then you get on the top side, try it for free. And you really can try it for free. You can build up your own company. So let's say we build up a company for furniture sales. They have a website, they have e-commerce, they have a CRM system, they have a sales system, they use invoicing, they have a POS, they have bookkeeping, stock, purchase, and what did I miss? I can go up to 10 and then later on even more. Okay, let's say they also have documents. And this is basically what you can do. Sorry?
Is it easy to switch to English website? To English website?
Oh, to English. I can. Wait a minute. It doesn't count with the 5 minutes. Okay, I try it again. So check it again. I think.
Just rename it.
I think there's downstairs a button. UK.
One down.
Okay, try it for free. There we go again. Website, e-commerce, CRM, sales, invoicing, point of sale, accounting, inventory, purchase, documents. And now I'll push the button, make it, then he starts asking me, what is the company name? I call it webcam 1 for example. And if you ever use it for your own benefits, just spell out here, I'm going to use it as a service to other companies, because otherwise Odoo will give you a call and keep on calling till they sign the company. Start now, and at this moment, the company, with a lot of AI, is starting. So it's going to pick all these elements together to build up your complete setup of an ERP system in a few minutes. It is not all, it even goes further, because we will see later on, I have also clicked on the website. And also the website, I want to have a nice website where I can show my products, but also sell my products in the shop. So it will start asking me, do you want to build a website in 4 steps? I say, yeah, I like it. Let's do it. So I said a business website, and I want to have a furniture store, Amish furniture, wholesaler, for example. My objective is to get leads or to develop a brand or sell more. So I like to have sell more. And then I say, okay, I like to have the colors as well. So what I can do is I can upload the colors. So I take the webcam logo, open it, it will be loaded, and then I say, let's go. Then I can say the features like about this, services, etc. You can add whatever you want. And I said, build my website. And now you can even choose one of the teams, the favorite teams. The favorite teams are, by the way, the most chosen teams you can find. So I take the first one, for example. And now it starts building up your website. So what it does, it takes everything which is needed and also the pictures from the internet and whatever, if you have a company, and basically there is the website, and now the complete company is set up. So when I go here, for example, to the back office, I see everything already set up. When I go back to the website, and also there I want to show a little bit of AI. When I say edit, when I say edit, and I said I like to have a better cover, or no, let me take an extra banner here, and then I say, this text is not really what I like to have. I go to ChatGPT and say, give me 3 alternatives, and I like this alternative, but I like to have a little bit more lengthened, and also a little bit more professional. And then I click on insert, and the text is already inserted. I click on save, and the website is like I want to have. How many minutes was it? 2 minutes, 3 minutes? About it, yeah. So everything is now inside, except the data. So what I did, I took another website, but now I remember that's not in Dutch. So what I will do is I will populate the data, this website with some data, so that you can really see how it works. Okay. Load demo data. Yes, I understand the risk. And now it is going to fill the complete database with demo data. And if you like to play with it, just do it like I did. It's very nice. You can see how it works, how the data is integrated in all the apps you can imagine. Important to say here is that remember that more than 50% of all the software behind it is still open source. So even if you want to have it completely 100% open source and free of charge, you can have the same functionality, but you have to find look a little bit around in the app stores around the world. And when I talk to Fabien and his development team, they all tell us we can do this because of that open source community. They all help us to build all this functionality. Also the companies are very active in adding functionality, asking for functionality, etc. So when I look at apps, I have only 7 minutes ago. For example, sales. You have the sales, you have the POS system, you have even a restaurant system with a kitchen terminal, CRM, e-sign, electronic signing, subscriptions, contact. When you have time, just look at it and look what's happening here. So the moment I click on this install, it will immediately install this help desk unit, help desk module, and it will immediately work. 100% guaranteed. So no bugs, nothing. It works. And you can take me to that, it works. Accounting, invoicing, accounting, consolidation, multi-company, consolidation tools are available, etc., etc., etc. And there is one, and this one I think, no, localization. There's one app which is called, this one, Studio. With Studio you can change any screen, any report. You can change it on the fly by just drop and drag. If you go a little bit deeper into the system, you can also go to the Python code and you can actually put a Python code into the system. So that's about the introduction to Odoo. When I look, for example, here, CRM, and I look, for example, there's a CRM system. Let me see. Oh, wait, I go to sales, then I show you a little bit about the products, and then I stop because I have some other things to talk to you. When I look at products, for example, these are products that are in the system today, or in the demo data, and you see here all kinds of products that you need. Storable products, consumables, services, licenses, whatever. You can just edit and change it whenever you like. And nice thing is about whatever you do is also logged. So you have a full accountable log in the system about who is doing. Yeah? Okay, that's about the Odoo system. Now let's go back because I have still 5 minutes to go. So let's go back to the business model. Because the business model is quite an interesting story. Odoo has started with a business model, free open source, and, oh sorry, I'm walking around, and trying to earn money with the consulting business around. And that didn't work. Company was almost bankrupt, and they had to change the business model because they could not make money in this way. So in 2010, they started a license partner model, and they started to work with, like I said, partners and licenses. So you have to pay for the software, and partners are in the market to sell and market your software. It was a very disruptive model because they only ask, I think, 19 euros for everything. And that is half the functionality that we have today. In 2014, they changed it again. And one of the things you never should do is change licenses or payment structures because that's people and customers don't like that. But we were able to explain why we did it. And the only reason to change these prices was because we needed funds to fund the R&D and to fund the hosting and to fund everything around it. Despite of all that people that are working, there are still you have to normalize all the whole user interface. You have to control all these the software itself with testing, automated tested and so. And that when you build a system like this, which is for millions of users, you have to have money for that. So he made it in 2014. He did it again, and he said, "I'm going to sell added value per app." So if I use, for example, the e-commerce web shop, which is on par with Shopify, why not asking money for that? After 6 years or 8 years, he changed it back to the system that we have today, one price per app, one price for the whole suite. So users only pay, I say, let's say roughly 40 euros for everything, and they can use the whole setup, all the apps that are in there, and that's probably the way it will be. The success you can see here. Odoo has at this moment 2,830 employees in total. So despite of the whole community, there is a company that is building Odoo. They all develop software, and the agreement that is made with the Odoo community is that the software the developed software in Odoo SA will be free, available in 2 years after the introduction. I'm not sure if they do it, but that's indeed what they promised. There are 2 products only, the enterprise and the community version. Also there Odoo is taking care of the community version. And at this moment, about 249 million euros is coming in per year only on licenses. In total, the free cash flow is 70 million, and well, you can see it. It's a lot of money that's going in. I think the company has at this moment already a validation of 3.4 billion euros. It's the first Belgian IT unicorn. So you can make a lot of money with open source, but you don't have to give it away for free because software has a certain value for customers. Well, I think it's now 45. Are there any questions? I hope you've seen a little bit about Odoo, enjoyed it a little bit.
Is there any space left for type 3 in this ecosystem?
Sorry?
Any space for type 3 in this ecosystem of Odoo? Or does Odoo everything type 3 does?
Odoo does everything that type 2 does, only type 3 goes far deeper. And that's with everything in this software. If you talk about WMS, warehouse management system, it does a warehouse management system, but the optimization. And that's type of 3 also the same. So there's a DMS system in there, but the DMS system is rather basic.
It's lightweight, okay.
Yeah, it's a light, very light.
Yeah.
So the nice thing about being open source is that it's also very open also to connectors. So we build a lot of connectors with this. You never enter a green field. There's always, people always using something. And we always have to make connectors. And the nice thing there is, again, the moment you need a connector, I'm sure that there will be a Title 3 Odoo connector. Because somewhere in the world, somebody will have built it in the open source. Yeah.
Are there tools to migrate from other systems, from Salesforce to Odoo and so on?
Yeah. At this moment, I know that there are tools for SAP, for Oracle, just for the finance and for the stuff. But I know I just learned about Shopify. I think what they told us, they raised the price of 40%.
Yes, no, it is.
They are working on tooling. Again, it's an open source group that's working on tooling to pick the Shopify shop, migrate it to Odoo, and make it exactly like Odoo, like Shopify. Just pull it empty, load it up in Odoo. All the screens will be the same, the workflow behind it will be the same. And that must be available one of these days. So, yes, there are a lot of tooling around. And again, also in the Odoo community, there are hundreds of tools, millions of tools. There are millions, 100,000 of tools available. My experience, by the way, is that when you start with a new ERP system, migrating is not the way to go. But that's my experience.
If you have a lot of customer data, you don't go to hand by hand.
Yeah. But also a lot of data that you want to get rid of. So that's the payoff you have to make. But you can easily import. I mean, every no, I'm not going to show it. That's my puddle. Every single view, you have an Excel import or export. You can choose whatever you want, but that's all bulk import, bulk export, and connectors that are completely imported.